Timor-Leste gained independence in 2002 after hundreds of years of Portuguese colonisation and decades of Indonesian occupation. The country is in an exciting stage of its young history and many positive changes are taking place. The people are literally building their nation from the ground up, trying to establish themselves after being ravaged by years of conflict and violence. During our month-long immersion experience travelling around this beautiful country, we observed the socio-economic conditions through discussions with local people, teachers, Australian volunteers and a long-term development worker. Through these discussions, we gain insight into the issues that relate to the socio-economic conditions of education, health, income and employment, and infrastructure.
So you know that Timor-Leste is a new country, and we lack of everything in every sector. One of them is of course education. Still on a process, it's not 100% good. Let's say 50-50, yeah? Because we still lack this.
Development of the education itself haven't reached to the top.
So, for example, in 5 years we have a curriculum, and another 5 years we will have another curriculum.
The curriculum is not matching with the realities that the students faces. The government, especially those who are working on it in education, needs to review, have a look at it, and then discuss, make more plan.
No access to books, to what we take for granted for education. Just isn't here. It's still chalk and talk.
The students just follow what the teachers is writing on the whiteboard or blackboard. But this is got to be, improve or change.
But education is the key to the future. So I've been spending a lot of my time looking at making good foundations in preschools, because then I realised I tried to work with teachers in primary schools because they had the old mindset of still teaching the Indonesian way, which was all rote, screaming and learning. At least now the new curriculum honours what we know from Australian methodologies about phonics and what have you. So we've got kids in preschool that can read.
Improvement like health, of course, yes, improvement, I see, because the government is nowadays pay attention to the health and the condition. A clinic,
Yes.
But the only problem is they don't pay attention to the staff. The staffs, of course, they are there, but it's lack of medicines, things like that.
Many areas, especially in the mountains, you would have noticed a lot of very small, children are quite small here, aren't they? Stunted growth, as they call, failure to thrive. It's simply because they haven't had the correct nutrition, they haven't had the balance of the food groups that we in Australia take for granted. Like often people will, if they've got chickens, they'll sell the eggs rather than give them, and buy those noodles rather than giving the child an egg which has good protein. So it's a slow process in educating the young mothers about how to provide balance for their children. But part of the problem is in the past the mothers didn't have much education themselves, or it was very broken. Whereas now we have the opportunity to work with children and with mothers. A number of NGOs are doing programs with mothers about nutrition and also providing preschool education for the kids, so that they're doing the two things together so that the next generation, we hope, will have better nutrition.
In terms of financial problem, many families, especially in the rural areas, they don't have a lot of opportunities to access to education.
Those who actually speak knows English, they've got a more improved way of life. They easily get jobs. It's make it hard for Timor-Leste people to learn Portuguese and cannot use in their daily life.
People have been quite critical, especially younger people, that they've been locked out of a lot of positions because they don't have, language is power, there's no doubt about that, and if you have control of Portuguese, you have access to many things.
Every year the school university produce many students graduate from the university, but no employment,
No jobs.
no job. They are jobless. The government always gives us scholarships, many scholarships
To study overseas.
Okay. But when they come back, there's no job for them. Yeah, so there are some, but not all. Yeah. So for example, I go overseas, and when I come back, I need to find it by myself.
They don't provide us the job.
And it's very hard here in Timor-Leste.
Just think about it. They have spent like a lot of money, but when we come back, we don't have a job.
The people are centered in Dili, and the capital, the money is just go around in Dili, but in the districts, in the rural areas, they don't really have a good income. Districts, they also can access to markets to sell their products. So the government should put local markets in every district, every sub-districts, so that they can sell their products there, so that they can gain their income.
Infrastructure, like you see, most of the schools here, the buildings are not okay for the students to study, and also in districts or in rural areas, not only in Dili, they need to go to school maybe for 10 kilometers.
To build more roads, good condition of roads, in order to marketize, to have the good marketing for their education and the products that the rural area has gained in order to facilitate this work.
In the city, it's more attention is given because maybe the government is thinking that the city needs to be looked after. But in villages, because a lot of things happen in the village too.
For instance, the rural roads really need to be developed. And because of the huge rainfall in the wet season, it's just enormous erosion. And then because, I've just seen huge mudslides. It went through a village and just destroyed half the houses. They are working on looking at, would have seen on the road here coming to Maliana, those big stone cages. They're called they use the Indonesian word bronzon. That's used to stabilise the land, to stop the slips. People might have their budget organised, but then these acts of nature happen, acts of God. So then they've got to adjust to that and work out. And you have to remember too that this is a population of 1.1 million people. So that the capacity density is not there yet for leaders and decision makers that have lots of experience.
The Timorese people can have a prosperous life, of course. That's, by providing best education, by providing good programs to increase families' income.
The life of East Timor, one day they will get, Timorese will have welfare, human life, well-being, and justice for all.
Once you've got health right and you've got education right, then the country will be able to stand up.
For me, I hope in the future, in 10 years, all of the young of Timorese get a job so they can make a change for Timor-Leste.